Good morning. Good morning, good morning. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, I'm gonna set this up really quick to make sure that hopefully comments are gonna show up on my screen finally. Let's put it right there. Okay. Still trying to work out some technical stuff. Hey guys, it's Chris Sandeman coming to you live stream right now for a little pop-up sunrise here on Calton Hill. Mythic entrance to the fairylands, perhaps. Let's let nature do its thing and, talk about some of the buildings around here. And I hope you enjoy. It's like just gone 6 a.m. So, boom. Hey guys. Oh, interesting. I think that I'm getting, oh nice. Looks like my video is working. My chats are working again. Amazing. I don't know why it's fixed, but Matthias, good morning. And Joel, Cosmo, thanks for joining. Welcome back to Edinburgh, guys. And we were just here waiting for the sun to come up. And while we're at it, look down over here towards the city of Leith, down towards the water below us. That water that we're looking out at is the Firth of Forth. The Firth is this giant inlet, right, that comes from the ocean and then eventually, glacial creations. We've got some philosophers over here. They have not yet slept. Making some noise. Here we have the old City Observatory. Spin around real quick. You guys can see as the sun is starting to shed some light over in this direction. I zoom in real quick, give you a little perspective. Yeah, there you go. So you can see the castle up there on the hill, Edinburgh Castle. Come on, phone. Zoom in, focus in there. There we go. Edinburgh Castle. See the clock tower there of the Admiral Hotel. It's very beautiful. See the Dougal Stewart monument there. This guy, whoop, here. See the Scots Memorial there in the different distance. Scott Memorial, excuse me. Here, we come round onto Admiral Nelson's column, built to celebrate his victory over the Spanish and the French, the Battle of Trafalgar, and also his death. Right here, you can see it in the foreground is a cannon. It's the Portuguese cannon, although it's got some a Spanish plaque attached to it, but it fought in more than one battle in different countries. And then here we've got the National Monument of Scotland. Hey Diane, good morning. Let's just come back around here. We continue to watch the sun come up. So whether you're packing it in and heading to bed, or you're starting your day, or somewhere in between those. Hey Lichma, you are following live right now. Joining us for the sunrise. Sunrise is officially at 6:23, so we've got about another 14 minutes or so. But we should have a relatively clear morning. Looks like there's a little bit of cloud cover there, but also some blue sky. So we're going to be able to see a fair bit of it. I'm going to head down this way, try not to get heckled by the late night philosophers. And let's walk over here. So Calton Hill, important and beautiful place to visit, but also a great place to catch either the sunrise or the sunset. Like I said, mythic entry point into the fairyland. Fairies in Scotland were not your friends. My favorite was the red cap. The red cap was known for its red hat, which it would dip in the blood of its victims before putting the head back on. JT Drew, thanks for that question. Do the Scots wear underwear under their kilts? Appreciate you keeping it at high level. And traditionally, no. But more recently, probably yes. Here we've got some photographer people getting set up. We look out. Thanks, Juan Pablo. Appreciate that. And greetings back to Argentina. Hope you guys are doing well down there. I worry about Argentina a lot. A lot of tough times. So my heart goes out to Argentina every time. Just a quick look down at the ground here. This is often the site of a massive bonfire every year, which celebrates the beginning of summer. Festival of Beltane, which can be it's in May, in summer. Joel, thanks. I will watch out for them fairies. Never actually caught a Beltane festival myself, but it's an all-nighter where traditionally men and women would go out in the forest, collect flowers, and exchange them. It's kind of a courting ritual, as you will. And then by the end of the evening, the sun rises, and you dance around the fire, and then eventually you're supposed to cup the dew from the grass, the morning grass, and wash it on your face. JT, I have not enjoyed a Hogmanay properly myself. Hogmanay, guys, Scottish traditional festival, begins at the end of December, continues on I think to it starts December 31st and ends January 6th. Although hopefully if there's a Scot listening or watching, you'll let me know if that's right or not. Look back over in this direction really quick, and we can see that mountain in the distance. That is Arthur's Seat. Just talking about Beltane. I'll show you guys a couple pictures of what this national monument looks like during Beltane, just to give you a kind of a comparison. And you get a feeling of it is definitely a welcoming of summer fire ritual. Let's take another look at another picture here. A lot busier on that day. I think it's May 30th, maybe. So that's when the next one's going to be in 2022. Yeah, Arthur's Seat's has a bunch of fascinating history, Joel. It's also where they found these like mini coffins with dolls in them, which I think might have been connected to Burke and Hare in some weird way. Let's take one more look. Got one more pic right here. It's the last Beltane photo I'm going to show you. And then let's focus on that sunrise again. You can hear the seagulls. They are making a racket. You guys probably can't hear them in the distance, but boy, they are loud right now. A lot of those old folk tales that speak about the fairy portal of Calton Hill, it's really a way to scare kids not to go out here at night. Once you left the Edinburgh city walls, there were all sorts of ruffians and brigands and muggers and highway robbers and, tea leaves, thieves. So rather than telling people to not go out because someone's going to mug you, well, we talk about a ferry instead. This is also, I believe, a swingers pickup zone sometimes, but the sun's up now, so that kind of has ended. Diana AG, want to go back? Yeah, Edinburgh special. I'll tell you, it's tricky to come and visit right now. A lot of hoops you got to jump through. Worth it, but you got to be prepared for it. Alexa, good morning and wunderschönen guten Morgen. And thanks for joining the early stream, catching us as the sun starts to come up. We can see it reflecting onto the clouds above. It's great to see you. Thanks for being here. JT asks, how are the mask mandates in Scotland at the moment? That's a great question, JT. People aren't taking them as seriously as I might like. Enforcement kind of depends on where you are. I met my first UK anti-vaxxer last night. Incredible. Not just that the vaccines from Bill Gates are trying to mess with you, but even that the PCR tests might be poisoned if you Google too much information about the vaccines, because they're going to try to take you out. It's incredible stuff. Bernard, I miss you, buddy. Thanks for saying good morning. I don't just miss traveling, but I miss you, Bernard. I miss Singapore. So it's very happy to be able to share it. Yeah, masks. I mean, I'm wearing mine. Always will have it around my neck. Mask. But enforcement depends on where you go. Not just with the masks, but even with the QR code check-ins as you come in to a restaurant or a hotel. Some places, they stand there and they watch you check in and they want to see confirmation on your phone to make sure that you have checked in. And the idea behind that is that when you check into a place, it creates a record letting you know in case you were in that establishment, bar, restaurant, club, hotel, whatever, at the same time as someone else who might later on test positive for COVID-19. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't want to have to quarantine, so they don't check in. Other people don't make them check in. It's like any rule or any system, it's only as good as its enforcement. Alexa, how they love that horse paste. Never heard of, referred to as a paste. Somewhere between. It's like a horse that had too much spicy food. But, yeah. People believe what they read. Hey, Diana. Good evening to the west coast of the United States. Hope if you are in Long Beach, I hope that you are safe and sound. As we watch the sunrise coming at us over the Firth or Forth, and we see the city of Leith down below us. Edinburgh to Leith kind of flows into one another. Alexa writes on YouTube, here in Germany, they have the Luca app. It's pretty much the same story. It'd be useful, but so many people just don't use it. Isn't that amazing, Diana, how we travel and connect around the world? 10:20 p.m. on the west coast of the US. Bernard, what time is it in Singapore? Joel, what time is it in Sydney, Australia? Alexa, what you've got at this point, 7:20, huh? 7:20 in Berlin. Great, thank you. Let's do a quick pan around. I'm going to head back in this direction for a little bit and just get a little elevation so we can see what the sun is doing to the rest of the city behind us. Walking over this hard rock surface back onto the grass, away from where the Beltane Fire Festival lights up. Oh, Diana, that makes me so happy that you can hear those seagulls in the background. Thanks, Bernard. 1:20 p.m. Bernard writes to us. Oh, that's great. I'm really glad that the mic picks that up. Wow. The late night people have left. Jenny Jean, Purple Heart. Hey, Jenny. I'm sorry that I didn't comment on your hearts during our quick talk about witches in North Berwick. I was in a rush to get to our dear friends Ross and Nikki's wedding. They're married, guys. It happened. It was the highlight of the day, for sure. Good morning, Edinburgh. Hello. Now you can properly see the city as it lights up. Lichen Ma, thank you. 1:20 p.m. in Malaysia. And JT, up late. 1:20 a.m. in Washington, D.C. How about that? 12 hours apart, Malaysia and Washington. Yes, Alexa, it did happen. I can prove it. Here is my appetizer that I had at the dinner. That is haggis. That's my first haggis ever. And they did it nice and proper for me with neeps and tatties in layers with that sauce on top. Made it easy to go down. Couldn't even taste that I was eating weird inside parts of a sheep. So grateful for that. Legendary haggis indeed. Bernard asks, are you here for work? You know, Bernard, when you run your own show, especially these days when you got to have a hustle, a side hustle, and then a side hustle for your side hustle, it's always work. Always. But always play too. So, haggis, in theory, Alexa, is you take, the internal organs of the sheep, not wasting a bit or a bite of it, and you chop them up nice and fine, including the lungs, heart, digestive tract, all that kind of jazz. And then you take oats, take that all together, and you stuff it inside the stomach of the sheep, being really careful not to puncture the stomach, so that way it doesn't all kind of flow out. You have a hole to get in there, and try not to widen the hole too much. I actually only know this because I listened to a podcast about haggis and in preparation for it, and then I had to turn the podcast off because I thought if I listened to it too long, I probably wouldn't be able to eat the haggis. So it all worked out. This guy at my dinner table, he won the award for best cufflinks. You see that? Made those himself. Another little takeaway from the wedding. Pretty neat. Dana says it still sounds yucky, and you're right. It does sound yucky, but boy, can I agree with using every bit and piece of the haggis, of the sheep. I mean, there's a legend that the haggis is actually a wild Scottish animal. Here, I'm going to put the cufflinks back up again for us guys to take another look at real quick, because they're clone trooper cufflinks, Alexa. He was going to make Boba Fett cufflinks, but Boba Fett was something like 15 pounds of Boba Fett. 30 pounds for two Boba Fetts? It's too much. Especially considering, Boba Fett was a clone. No, Boba Fett was the original, right? Was Boba Fett the original that they cloned all the clones off of? I think that's how it goes. I gotta review my Clone Wars. Yeah, 30 pounds, guys. You're looking at like $45, 50 maybe. It's a lot for a couple of cufflinks made of plastic, but oh, that would have made sense. Alexa writes, could have been a Boba and a Jango Fett. Yeah. Back up a little bit. I think this view is nicer with the memorial here as well. little bit of a story about the memorial, or the monument, excuse me, the national monument. Get my angling here proper so I get the sun coming up and this in the front, the foreground. There we go. Well, if you look at it, it doesn't quite look completed. It is the National Memorial of Scotland to the Scottish soldiers and sailors who fought and died in the Napoleonic Wars. The inscription on it reads, "A memorial of the past and incentive to the future heroism of the men of Scotland." It was designed by a combination of Charles Robert Cockerell and the very famous architect William Henry Playfair. And if it wasn't kind of apparent, it is modeled after the Parthenon in Athens. Well, they started the construction in 1826, but it only lasted for about 3 years. They were trying to raise money to finish it and never got enough of the coins scraped together to be able to do so. So by 1829, they discontinued construction and it was left as it is. But I think it's still lovely. Although it has been given names such as Scotland's Folly or Edinburgh's Disgrace, the pride and poverty of Scotland and Edinburgh's Folly. Not really fair. I think it's still gorgeous. You can climb up it if you've got the upper body strength to lift yourself up, or you got a friend to kind of hoist you up. The foundation stone, laid in August 1822, was witnessed by none other than George IV. Back in the day. Yeah, I agree, guys. It's really pretty. It's chilly this morning. I feel the cold on my hands. Looking at 47 degrees Fahrenheit, which is a balmy 8 degrees centigrade. And enjoying the sunlight or the start of the day right now, but a little clear skies, although rain should move in by the early evening or late evening. Just still see a little bit of my breath as I breathe out. Oh, Alexa, how right you are. Alexa writes to us, "Oh yeah, autumn draws near." How true. Right? Winter is coming again. And with it, it's hard not to associate the coming of winter with fears of people being not locked, but inside, close quarters again. Diana writes, "That is chilly. I mean, you missed the bad rains in NYC, New York City last week." Oh, heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. New Jersey, New York, all of that water. It's terrible. Cars abandoned on the Central Park Traverse, the road that cuts through Central Park at 81st Street, because they were underwater. 3.1 inches of rain within an hour fell in New York. And I can't even bring myself really to talk about it, because it's just a horrendous idea to think that you, in the greatest international space station in the world, not a city of the state of New York, and not a city even of the United States of America. I mean, New York City is the international space station. And to be down in your basement, exactly, Diana, to be down in your basement. I mean, not your basement, in your apartment, which unfortunately is in the basement. As Tyler Durden said in Fight Club, you know, it's never the wealthiest people that end up in the basement apartments. Already a hardship there. How the alarms were not sounded to get people out of those dangerous spaces, I will not know. Oh, there she is. Here comes the sun. Do 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 do. Here comes the sun. How does that giant golden orb always fill me with such happiness to see it in the morning? There's just something about it. I feel so bad for all them night owls who don't get to see these beautiful sunsets. I mean, I only got a couple hours of sleep myself, but seeing the sunrise as it comes up over the horizon, comes up over the cloud cover on the horizon, it just fills me with such joy. It supercharges me. Alexa has some excellent points there, in that you really do not want to get in floodwater. You know, New York floodwater, all that stuff that's in the water from all the streets of New York, that's definitely a bad way to get an infection. And then, you know, you've got the guy down in I think it was New Orleans. Yeah, it was New Orleans, when they first get hit by Hurricane Ida. He's out there in the floodwaters, gets attacked by an alligator outside of his house, just because he's, you know, in waist deep water. So between toxic waste and sewage and roving reptiles, gosh, when, right guys? When will the wake-up call be heard? When will people eventually understand that this climate change is not some joke told by liberals to try to get in the way of big oil's profits? Someone at the wedding was talking about birth rates decreasing, not just because of the empowerment of women and a move towards income equality, which is not there, but better than it was, but still actually a long way to go, depending upon which country you're in. But because people were deciding not to have children, because they're afraid of what planet children will inherit. And that's a little scary. Oh, Alexa, yeah. swimming and diving on the flooded highways in Philly. Bad idea, guys. Stay out of the flood water. Yes, it's true, Alexa. Humans don't understand until it's slapping them in the hand, in the face, until the pot is boiling around our lobster arms. I think that, unfortunately, it's in our DNA. Gosh, Greta Thunberg, thank you for your work and what you're doing. JT, you say it right, brother. You say it right, definitely. Oh, sorry about that. Bring us back. I think a lot of it, the climate change issue, is that it's not what our, thousands and thousands or tens of thousands or 100,000-year-old DNA understands. We understand dinosaur coming at us over the mountain, I have to either run or I have to fight. That's what the adrenaline burst wants. This slow cooking, it doesn't speak to our sense of danger and emergency, because we try to conserve energy. We try to wait and not waste our energy resource until it's really important. And then when it's really important, come on, there's no animal in the world which is as good a problem solver as human beings. We crush problem solving, but we have to understand that there's a problem that needs to be solved and kick our DNA alarms into high gear. My fear, and gosh, I would hate for future generations to watch this sunrise in Edinburgh down the road and be like, yep, well, they understood, they knew, and they didn't do anything about it. But my fear really is that even with what we're facing, we're not going to change. Food will get more expensive. Land will get more scarce, right? Arable land, which will then drive the cost of food up. And what we're looking towards is just massive, massive climate-driven migrations, where millions of people are going to have to move. Millions. And they'll be facing life or death. And I fear governments will have trouble maintaining themselves. I'm not talking about tomorrow, but I'm talking about 10, 20, 50 years down the road. Oh. Hello. Is that a crow or is that a raven? Alexa? Oh. Give me the heads up on this bird. Crow or raven? What am I looking at? Oh. Oh. He's on. He knows I'm filming him. I feel like he must be a raven. But I don't think I've seen many ravens in my life. Well. Oh, okay, crow. I'm used to crows always making that crow noise. Little bit of a shame that there's so much rubbish lying around, but also a shame that the bins are quite full. All right, thank you, Alexa and Diana. We're gonna go with, that's 2 votes for crow. I'm gonna say crow. Good morning, son. Thanks for being there, buddy. right? That was the thing that threw me, Diana. Diana writes, he was quiet. They were usually so noisy, and that's how I think of it too. I'm kind of expecting a crow to be loud all the time. Gosh, guys, look at that cloud effect, huh? It's beautiful. Can really see it. It's almost like the clouds are casting shadows into the sky. As the water reflects the golden light of the sun. Gotta say, I'm pretty impressed by this iPhone. Camera on it's pretty solid. This is live, guys. You are being teleported here to Calton Hill in Edinburgh, capital of Scotland. I'm very close to the Scottish Government House, and then not so close to Holyrood Palace, where the Scottish Parliament sits. I used to live in Edinburgh, but I have to be honest, I've forgotten a lot of the history of the city and of Scotland, and been relearning so much of it in the last days. Oh, new bird. New bird. Hold on a second. Let's go. Oh, don't run away, bird. Don't run away. Come here. There he is. Alexa, what's this guy? He's got like some blue feathers. His head's just turning around. He's got a white underbelly and black breast. But there are blue feathers as well on his rear. Like, yeah. See how it's slightly blue? Who are you? Who are you, Mr. Bird? Will you fly for me a little bit? Oh, Pika Pika. Oh, it's a Eurasian magpie. Magpie. Good morning, Mr. Magpie. Good morning, Mr. Magpie. There's a poem about magpies in England. Can't remember exactly how it goes, but it's something about like, I don't know. Maybe it's not a magpie poem. I remember my step-grandmother telling me a story about when she was pregnant with my aunt Alicia, and how that plane cutting through the sky up there too, really nice. Lichen also jumping in, thank you, Magpie. You guys know your birds, love it. She was pregnant with my aunt Alicia, and she didn't know yet if it was a boy or a girl, but she looked out her window and there were 3 magpies there sitting on the clothesline or on the wall or something, such a thing. And that's when she knew it was a girl. I think it was the poem, that rhyming thing, one for silver. Wait, 1 for silver, 2 for gold. No, that's not it. How does it go? For girl, 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy, 3 for a girl, 4 for boy. That's it. 5 for silver, 6 for gold, 7 for a story never to be told. Oh, that's my low sleep brain right there. I drove to the wedding and drove back from the wedding in North Berwick. North Berwick, by the way, voted the best place to live in Scotland in 2021. But as I was driving back, I did not drink much at all, which is good. I feel really happy about that. But I also drove my dear brother to the airport this morning at 4:30 a.m., which meant that I didn't get a ton of sleep. I thought, you know what, I'm up. Had a coffee to make sure I drive straight and safe. I'd come up here, share the sunrise with you guys. So, beautiful. All right. Well, it's first thing in the morning. We're here. Should we walk back down Calton Hill together? And maybe I can show you the old Calton Cemetery really quick. We've been going for 45 minutes and I'm going to cut it at an hour. So we've got 15 minutes. You guys want to go see where David Hume, the Scottish philosopher, where he's buried? You want to check it out real quick? Will you walk with me? Come on. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's walk down there really fast. It's just down here. And it's on the way back to the car, so we can do it together. All right, well, one last view together of the sun, and then I'm going to take you to a cemetery. This makes me happy. Despite us talking about some really tragic, horrible things, climate change and flooding in New York, the loss of life associated with that, it's like this sunrise always makes me remember that no matter how bad things get, no matter how dark the night is, that the sun will come up and it's like a new beginning, a new hope. Hope, right? The one good thing that came out of the bottom of Pandora's box. Me too, Diana. Diana writes, glad your brother was able to join you. Me too. It was his first trip to Scotland. And we ended up getting to go to a bunch of distilleries that we weren't going to be able to see otherwise because they're closed to the public. But he was able to swing it for us to get us in. All right, bye, son. See you later on. Bye, National Monument. Thank you, Scottish sailors and soldiers who fought against Napoleon. Bye, Nelson's monument there. Thank you for being such a great naval admiral. We appreciate you. I don't know exactly what you are. You might be a Burns monument. Not sure who you're for, but thank you, Observatory, and astronomers, astrologers. Thank you, Stuarts and Clan Stuart, and your little monument there. Thank you, Portugal, for taking this cannon away from the Spanish and using it against them, probably. Good choice. Portuguese cannon. Then either by trade or capture, the cannon came into the possession of the king of Arakan. Oh wait, ruler of a state on the west coast of Burma? And then captured by the British. I know why it's the Portuguese cannon then. Ah, I see. The cannon was transported to the Portuguese colonies in Southeast Asia sometime before 1785. Makes sense. Diana writes, my DNA says I'm 7% Scottish and 45% Irish. Nice. That's a good diaspora mix. And good examples of two countries that have many, many more people descended from them living not in those countries than in those countries. Hey, Eric. Alexa says she's never taken one of those kind of ancestry tests. Should though. It's interesting. They're fun. You never know what you're going to find out about yourself. And the Spanish part, you know, but the mess, that's always the interesting thing. Yeah, my mom had my uncle do one, and sure enough, he had a different genetic makeup than the rest of her siblings. Turns out, Grandma rolled in the hay with more than just Grandpa. So, heading down these stairs right now. If you guys are feeling, I've just walked down. You look back up those stairs. Yeah. Right, Alexa? It is awesome. So it's worth it to go and do the test. You might discover that, like, wait a second, I'm 28% Russian? Yeah, that's what happened during that trip to Moscow. Something like that. That is cool, huh, Eric? To be able to be part of a sunrise and sunset all in quite close order to one another. And it be live both times. So you can see where this obelisk is over here. We're heading over into that obelisk space. Take a look at a quick graveyard. Got an early Sunday morning jogger. Oh, she's a visitor. She's asking the bus driver about what's over here. Just ran in. We're going to see her inside in a second. Here we are at the old Calton burial ground. Let's go upstairs and take a look, huh? Well, we're looking at the Political Martyrs Monument, designed by Thomas Hamilton, erected in 1844, 90 feet tall, 27 meters. This obelisk on its square plinth, made out of ashlar sandstone bricks, or blocks, excuse me. Dan and I were just talking about diaspora a little bit. Before we get to David Hume, let's take a look at this guy. Anyone recognize this fellow? He is not Scottish, but he is kind of recognizable. Like Scottish people, he's famous for being honest, and Scots are notoriously honest people. Maybe the giveaway here is below the statue. You can see a word, emancipation. Yep, it's Honest Abe, Abraham Lincoln, inventor of the $5 bill. No, he's just on the $5 bill, of course. And the reason why you have this monument here to Abraham Lincoln is because of, that's right, Diana, yep. Sorry for the lag there, absolutely right. Abraham Lincoln, you nailed it. It's because of the Scottish American soldiers. Because, of course, think about it, the Highland clearances, right? Send lots and lots of Scottish people to the New World, Canada, North America, the United States. And many of those Scottish immigrants helped fight for the Union. The inscription here says, "To preserve the jewel of liberty in the framework of freedom." So, thanks, Abe. Thanks for your sacrifices, buddy. You made a better country for us, although unfortunately you died too soon. You died too soon, and we're not able to finish your great works to not just free the enslaved people of the United States, but to ensure their prosperity, to preserve equality. And of course, after Abraham Lincoln's assassinated, the Reconstruction era ends and Jim Crow laws replace a lot of that progress. The 13th Amendment, creating a new backdoor for a new sort of slavery for people that go to prison and then are exempt from, being emancipated because it's a prisoner. They can put you back to slave labor. So, sad. But still, thanks, brother. And here, David Hume. So, a notorious atheist, David Hume. They keep him locked up in here now to make sure that if his zombie corpse tries to escape from his little mausoleum, he won't get out. Died 1776, August 25th. So he lived to see the Declaration of Independence. You guys can't smell it, but I can smell the roasting, that malt and hops coming from the Caledonian Brewery, not too far from here. Take a quick look around. David Hume, he once fell into the Nor Loch. The Nor Loch was a body of water where today in Edinburgh you have Princess Street Gardens, beautiful garden space next to Waverley Station. Kind of separates the old town of Edinburgh and the Royal Mile, which is sort of the tail of the comet. If the comet was where the Edinburgh Castle sits, which is actually an old basalt plug that the glacier that moved through here wasn't able to destroy. And it left this kind of comet tail of land. And below that, you had this Nor Loch where water was gathering. And then on the other side of that is where the new town will come. And David Hume was walking along the Nor Loch, which was not just the location of the fresh drinking water for the people of Edinburgh, but it was also where all of their waste and refuse would run down the hill. All that flood water would collect there, and it was a stinking, poopy mess. Pasty mess, as I would say. And, David Hume, I don't know what he was doing. He's walking along, and he slips into the Nor Loch, and he was a big guy. He was a portly fellow. And he didn't know how to swim, apparently. And he starts to kind of flop around, and there's refuse floating around near him. He would have known that this was a place that many would-be witches were executed as part of the test to see if you were really a witch, because as Monty Python taught us, what burns? Wood and witches. And then wood floats, so witches should float. It's not it. It's that the devil would hold you up, right? The devil would hold you up from underwater. So if you floated in the Nor Loch as a witch, as part of your witch trial, then you're definitely a witch. If you sunk, you weren't a witch, and you did drown, and were very sorry. Not a witch. Hundreds of female skeletons found at the base of the Norloch, underneath that water once they drain it. The women who accidentally weren't witches, well, oh well, right? Ugh, what a mess. But David Hume himself now, as the story goes, falls into this Norloch, and we're talking about like hundreds of years after the end of the crazy witch times, led by James I of England, known as James VI in Scotland. He was a crazy witch hunter. But so David Hume now, we're in the mid 1700s, and David Hume slips into the Norloch, and as he does, he's yelling and flopping around, and two fisherwomen walk along, and they see him there, two ladies of Edinburgh, and they run to the calls, these cries of help, help, I'm drowning, and they run and they go to grab something to throw to him, whether it was a branch or a rope or something. I'm not exactly sure how the mists of time have distorted the story. And he, help me, and they're like, oh, let's get him. And then they get close enough, they go, wait a second, that's that atheist, David Hume. We're not going to save him. He's an atheist. He doesn't even believe in God. And he's like, no, save me, please, save me. Don't leave. And they go, say the Lord's Prayer. Recant. Ask God to save you, kind of thing. And he sets off on, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Save me. And they saved him after that. That's the legendary story that I know of David Hume. I don't really know much about his philosophy. It's not a class I did very well in, to be honest with you. I signed up for philosophy thinking it was going to be like discussion and debate. And it was a lot of logic and math, actually. Well, still fascinating. I'll get another last view up at the Stuart Memorial there. Always associated with Calton Hill. Hear an owl. There's an owl hooting nearby here. Or if it's not an owl hooting, maybe it's pigeons or doves cooing. Maybe it was cooing. Yeah, it must have been. I don't have... Do you hear that? That's not an owl at all, no. I need to spend some time at a bird colony, learn my birds. Okay, well, that's an hour and 3 minutes. Alexa, when I was staying at this hostel with my brother up in Dalwhinnie, the owner of the hostel, Lee, super cool guy. Yeah, Diana, thanks. It wasn't an owl. What am I talking about? But there were two... he had two owls up in Dalwhinnie, and two barn owls, and they just had chicks. So he's like, "Yeah, sorry if it keeps you up at night because these chicks are so loud," which is really neat. Eric asks, "Didn't one of your tour guides walk through this site at night doing a ghost tour?" Oh, no, he didn't go to Calton Hill. David the Ghost Basson, he went to Greyfriars Kirkyard, which is over where Greyfriars Bobby, the famous dog, is. That's where he ended up. That's where he went. So, but, you've got all these graveyards around, which is pretty neat. That there's a lot of them. It's interesting, right? Because these graveyards are old enough that they're still in the city, which is something that eventually stops happening. Graveyards that move out of the city because they we start to associate and believe that the graveyards by the 1800s, that maybe they're making us sick. And it's not because we're drinking water out of the Norloch. Well, I don't know why this water tastes like poop and I'm getting so ill all the time. Why do I have cholera? Weird. I'll drink some beer instead. That was the old trick, right? Is that for some reason beer doesn't make me sick. It makes me a little bit addicted to drinking beer, but at least I'm not getting cholera. You're like, yeah, because you're boiling the water in the beer, guy. Boil your water or don't drink out of the poop stream. You're gonna do fine. Oh, Alexa, good point. Alexa writes, the funny thing about old graveyards is that they used to be on the outskirts of the city, and the city kind of grew up around them. That would make sense, that graveyards would be eaten up by the cities. Yeah. Or they would end up moving the graveyards, which also happened here in Edinburgh, and is one of the reasons why people believe that Edinburgh could be quite haunted, or why it's the most haunted city in the United Kingdom, because a rough death, a sudden death, an unexpected early death, gonna maybe have a spirit haunting, but also disturbing people's graves, moving them, messing with their remains could also wake them up and make them quite unhappy. So, all right. Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. I'm so glad that the chat's working again. Really, it makes my job so much more fun and enjoyable. And I'm gonna get to talk. I'm gonna have a conversation, which is great. I'm in Scotland until Tuesday. I'm gonna definitely do a live stream of the. Will I have a SIM card that'll work though at the Amsterdam airport, Schiphol airport? Maybe I can convince a friend to come out and lend me his SIM so I could do a quick stream of the airport there. Well, I've got today and I've got tomorrow. I think that Nikki and Ross and I might do a bit of a live stream pub walk and take you guys to a couple of the old-timey pubs in Edinburgh on Monday. On Sunday, though, which is today, right? Could do something later on today. I'm gonna think about it, but I definitely want to do a stream in the afternoon. Maybe I'll head up to Stirling Castle and we'll do something like that. Eric, have a great day, or great evening. Thank you. To the start of the day, Diana, have a good sleep when you hit the hay. Alexa, have a great start to your day. I think Joel and Bernard have headed off for now. Hey, and if you're watching this as a video rather than as a live stream, thanks for watching it. Really appreciate it. If you can, make sure that you subscribe to the channel on YouTube if that's where you're watching, and give it a thumbs up on the video, which always helps other people find it as well. I'm gonna go find a coffee and let's see what time I got now. Yeah, 7:15. Maybe I can get some breakfast somewhere. So, Alexa, thank you so much for all your contributions. You're always so welcome. In fact, when you're not on a live stream, I often find myself shouting out to you on the live stream, hoping that you could tell me like what this bird is or what this plant is. So I always feel like it's a teamwork there. So thanks. All right, and yeah, mwah. Ciao for now. Oh yeah, hey, sure, Diana, love that if you go back and watch them. Thumbs them up if you enjoy them. Always great. And all right, I'm gonna get some breakfast. Well, bye guys. Have a wonderful day, or have great sleep, sweet dreams, or a fantastic, like, awesome Sunday. Treat yourself special today, guys. Give yourselves a break. We all deserve one right now. Been a tough chunk of time, and it's a marathon. This isn't a sprint. We're going to be in and out of this normal for a little while. Lich Ma, thank you, and my heart goes out to Malaysia. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. I will enjoy my coffee. Yeah, thanks for being here live, guys. And if you're watching this as a video later, don't worry. You're still appreciated, even if you didn't join the live stream. It's my fault. I should post these things ahead of time so people know when it's going to happen. It shouldn't just be a pop-up, but I've got to do a little bit better work on that. I'm going to try. Okay. Good. There it is. Bye.